legend of hip-hop.
Okay, so I'm not gonna pretend that I know exactly what Kim Kardashian has done in her life to become the ultra celebrity that she is. I do know she gets a lot of hate for some, to me, unknown reasons, but the way I look at it is there's no denying that she managed to make something out of herself, and all that I have to say about that is good for her. I feel like in a lot of cases, in most cases actually, fame doesn't necessarily equal great taste, and this is especially true when it comes to cars. We've seen numerous examples of absolutely gorgeous cars turn into vulgar, over-the-top creations that don't seem to be attractive to anyone else but the owner. For example, we have Will.I.Am's bizarre $900,000 custom thing.
Don't let your kids watch it!
Justin Bieber's floating Rolls-Royce Wraith, which I redesigned here on the channel. Chris Brown has a fascination with completely ruining Lamborghinis for some reason. Actually, I kinda like this one, except for the wheels. Maybe it's intentional just to stand out and get publicity, maybe not, I don't know, to each their own I guess. However, the cars that are currently parked at Kim Kardashian's house, they took me by surprise. And I'm not saying that lightly, I'm seriously impressed with her vision for this collection, and she has an interesting philosophy as to why her cars look like they do and all have the same kind of theme. Are all of her cars beautifully customized? No, of course not. There has to be a couple of publicity cars as well, such as this furry Lamborghini Urus, for example. I wonder if that overheated a lot. I would guess so based on the coat, the furry coat that surrounds the entire car. Even the wheels have some furriness on them. So in this video, we're gonna have a look at 3 of her most recent cars, and I'm gonna let you know why I think they are a refreshing take on a sometimes overdone industry, the celebrity car mod business. So the 3 cars in question are the Rolls-Royce Ghost, the Maybach S580 and the Lamborghini Urus. And at the end of this video, I'm gonna throw in a bonus vehicle here as well that we just have to talk about. So let's start with the Urus. With a base price of $225,000, the Urus is one of the most expensive SUVs on the market today. It's powered by a 641 horsepower twin turbo V8, giving it the 0 to 60 time in just 3.1 seconds and a top speed of 190 miles per hour. It's a great vehicle for getting your kids to school on time. Next up, we have the Rolls-Royce Ghost. If you think the Urus was expensive, the Ghost takes that up a notch with a starting price of $400,000 for the base model. It's powered by a 563 horsepower 6.7 liter V12 that is shared with the Cullinan SUV and is capable of launching itself to 60 miles per hour in 4.6 seconds with a limited top speed of 155 miles per hour. Not bad at all. But last but not least, Kim decided to add the beautiful Maybach S580 to her fleet. It's a bargain at $185,000, and for that you get a 496 horsepower twin turbocharged 4-liter V8 pulling the cocoon of luxury up to 60 miles per hour in just 3.9 seconds. The top speed is also limited here, just as in the Rolls, to 155 miles per hour. I'm guessing it'll do that without tipping over any champagne glasses in the rear seat. So let's have a look. Let's start with the car in the current lineup of Miss Kardashian that I don't really like, but I can't blame her for this car, because the Urus to me from the start in its standard form isn't really a very attractive car. It's a cool looking car and it's kind of vulgar, and I think it in a bit it kind of works for Lamborghini to have an SUV that looks like this. But when you add this, I think this is a Warsteiner kit or something like that. It's a wide body kit, so you see these fenders right here. These are not stock, these are added on. But what really sets this off the top is this front end. if you look at the Urus in a stock form, it already has enough angles, enough vents, enough everything in the front end. You don't need to add more to the front end, and that's exactly what this body kit does for the Urus. And then we have this square intake right here, like a little double mouth. We have mouth number 1 up here, and then we have an angry mouth down here, so mouth number 2, and it gets a little confusing. It almost looks like the Predator from the Schwarzenegger movies. It just doesn't make sense to me. I guess this is a way to stand out. If you have an Urus, if you don't think you're standing out enough with a base Urus, just add a Warsteiner kit on it and call it a day. I do, however, like the wheels. Every single set of wheels I've seen so far, I think, that I've seen in the Kardashian collection, I love every single one of them. We're gonna have a look at the Mercedes specific and more so the Ghost and the wheels that she decided to put on those. Just beautiful wheels on those two cars. Here as well, I kind of like these wheels, but at the same time we have this body kit that kind of ruins everything else for me. I like the color. This is almost like a clayish color that she decided to put on every single car in her lineup at the moment. So let's move on to now the Rolls-Royce Ghost. So let's have a look at this beauty, and I'm gonna let you know why I like these cars so much and why I think they are very special when it comes to customizing cars. I'm gonna let you know why in just a second here, but first let's analyze this and see what's actually made different. So this is actually not the final touch for Kim Kardashian's car. This is not the final version of it. What she decided to do is to take even this, the chrome emblem in the front end, and even the black mesh down here, and make this into this clay color. So every little detail, every single little trim piece on the outside of the car is this same color. And what that does to me, but actually we're gonna wait with that before I want to show you the Mercedes first. But before we show you the Mercedes, let's have a look at these absolutely gorgeous wheels on this Ghost. I think these should be come as standard as an option from Rolls-Royce. I think the overall design just suits the elegance of the Rolls-Royce. They're not shouty, but they're big and they fill out the wheelhouses really well, as you can see right here. And it just suits the overall design. It's a simple, but at the same time, a little bit of a complex design of the wheels. Very well chosen by, I guess, Kim Kardashian for the wheel setup of her wheels, and also the color, as I said. Now, last but not least, before I want to show you the bonus vehicle of Kim Kardashian, which is something spectacular too, let's just have a look at the Maybach S580. So she didn't go with the V12, she chose the V8, according to the news sources that I took this from. Which is interesting, but I guess she preferred the V8 for some reason. But here you can see she decided to do this, as I said, in the Ghost here. We have that in the Mercedes or the Maybach right here. Everything, absolutely everything, every little trim piece in any surface on this car is this color. Even the blacked out trim mesh down here is now this clay color, which I don't know if there's a name for it or something. I heard cray would be a good name for it, and I think so too. Cray, it kind of suits it. It's not gray, but it's cray, so it's a new take on gray, if that makes sense. Anyway, here we have the wheels as well. Very beautiful wheels that at the same thing here. I think this design just suits the Mercedes really well, and even the chrome trim piece that is right here is now in this gray color. And the guys at Platinum Motorsport, which have done all these cars, by the way, I'm a huge fan of their work. What they did in addition to that is made this emblem in the rear lit up, so it's backlit. They added this emblem on the quarter panel, and they also made this specific emblem in the front end custom made. Usually what you have on the Maybach here is the Mercedes star, not the Maybach logo like we have right here. So I think that's a really beautiful touch to make this really unique, a unique vehicle. And on top of that, we have even this radar plate here being in this gray color, which I think kind of ruins the front end a little bit. What I would love to have here is if we just quickly copy this mesh and cover this up so we have a full grille. I don't understand why they didn't have this radar piece being behind this instead. So something like this very quickly here, just to show you what that would look like. It just feels more elegant that way. We can still have some radar plate maybe behind it or something like that, but not like smack in front of it like that. It ruins the flow of the beautiful face of this Maybach 580. Now the reason why I decided to make this video is because I think there's more to these modifications than just simple car modifications. And why I think it's a refreshing take is because when I look at these, and I first saw these just a couple of days ago, and I thought, it looks interesting, it looks kind of too simplistic almost, but at the same time, what happens when you have this kind of color all over the place, what it does to me, it makes me appreciate the design even more than if we were to have different colors and different materials, textures on different trim pieces. When you have everything wrapped in this gray color, it shows the design almost as a sculpture here on wheels, or almost like a 3D model that hasn't been, where the textures hasn't been fully rendered yet. And it makes me appreciate the overall design of these cars that have this treatment. And what Kim says why she decided to do this, it takes inspiration from her home, which it has a similar color, I guess, except for the kids' room. They can do whatever they want in their rooms, but in the living areas, she has a very simplistic home, and she says the world is so noisy outside that she decided that she wanted to denoise her home, I guess, and denoise the cars. And I think the result is just fantastic. I would probably not say no to making something like this on my own cars if I had cool cars like this, just to bring out the design and the sculpture and the lines more. I think this color as well, it shows the lines very well. It's not too glossy, it's almost like a semi-matte finish, and it's a fantastic deal and a good way to show off the designs of these cars. But now let's have a look at the bonus car that I want to throw in here, and that is this matte silver Cadillac Escalade, also made by Platinum Motorsports, as you can see right there. This is also Kim Kardashian's. I'm not sure if she still has it or whatever, but I just want to talk about this design. This is one of the classiest Escalades I've ever seen in my life. I love the satin gray, because same thing here, you can see the lines and the shades so well in this car. Even though it is a pretty boxy car, I do love it in contrast with these black trim pieces. No chrome anywhere on the car, and on top of this we have these beautiful wheels. These must be 26s or something like that, I'm not sure, but I think same thing here. These wheels, all these wheels, I think they are made by the same manufacturer, because I can see the same kind of style in them and the same philosophy behind their design, and I really like these wheels on all her cars, and this is not an exception. I think these suits this Escalade better than any original wheel I've seen from Cadillac themselves. So if anything, I think in addition to whatever Kim Kardashian is actually famous for, I think she should be famous as one of the best car modifiers in the business.